Alright, meteorologist Dean Davison, the Weather Pros, liveweatherblogs.com, audio update, Hurricane Matthew update. Let's take a look at the current conditions. We have this hurricane at 145-mile-an-hour winds, moving north at 5 foot tunnels, moving slower now, 14.7 north, 75 west, and it is moving directly north, and will continue. It looks like a major hurricane. Taking a look at the satellite picture, and I drew it here where this is going to go. You can see the western part of the Dominican Republic and the eastern part of Jamaica. The western part is going to be a little less than the eastern part. Being on the eastern side of a hurricane always is the worst side. But that's going to be bad for the Dominican Republic and Haiti in that area. Mainly Haiti. Taking a look here at the computer models, you see majority of them keep it up here. This is to me a little bit to the east, and this is it's just back west, which is where we were looking at this. This is where I think this will be in the next 48 or so hours, and then from there, there's a lot of things we're gonna show you here that can mess with the track. These tracks have been all over the place. I'm noticing here it's already coming towards the Carolinas, and then moves out to sea. This is the GFS. And then the Canadian, which I'm not really buying right now. It's a little too far east. It's initialized too far east, in my opinion. But the power of it stays Category 3, it looks like, for the majority of this time, which means it's going to be a major hurricane. And that could play into these computer models a little bit later on. Reason I'm saying that is because if this becomes stronger by any chance than a Category 3, say it stays Category, goes to Category 4 or back up to a 5, this could play with the weather patterns, because if this hurricane is stronger than a low or a high, it can move either of the two of them. Clearly, the GFS, shows this storm right at the Outer Banks. This would give wind to Norfolk, into towards Lynchburg, down to Carolinas, as a pretty strong hurricane. We move on, and like I'm showing you here, this trough's going to be the saving grace as it stays weaker, as it will take you from the Outer Banks and take it out to sea. This trough would be everything, but that's only one model and one model run. So then you take a look at what's going on with the Euro. And the Euro has this positioned between two high pressure systems. The low is way back out here in the Intermountain West, so that's not going to play too well. These are going to try to go in between the two highs, and where is that located? North Carolina, Virginia, and then further north. So the Euro is actually, 12Z is showing this thing probably going to move closer to the coastline, as I said, until this low picks it up and takes it out to sea. The low is everything. The power of this hurricane plus the low to the west is everything for where the storm moves. If this is any way delayed or further west, this hurricane is going to have a lot of time to take aim at the East Coast. I would say if you live on the East Coast, keep yourself watching this, because this is going to be very interesting to see what happens. Because initially you're going to get a high pressure pushing this back towards the Bahamas and then maybe the southeast coast. This is still a ways away, so you have to watch this very carefully. Like I said, a hurricane that's very strong can say the low has a lower or higher pressure. Say the low out there says right there 1012 low, okay, and the low there is a 980, okay. The 980 is stronger, okay, and if you don't have a really strong high, or if you have a strong high to the east, that's going to keep it to the west, because that weaker low will be battling the hurricane, and the hurricane could win based on that scenario. So you can't throw that out. The low and where it's at and the strength of it versus the strength of the hurricane is going to mean everything as this approaches the East Coast. So anybody from Florida all the way up to the whole entire East Coast, just keep an eye on it. We'll keep you updated, obviously, but like I said, different models are showing different things. And we have a lot of wiggles to the west and wiggles to the east. The model's really not buying on a lot of things, because this right here is not far off that. So it's kind of in a consensus that North Carolina could be in play. And that's something that needs to be watched very closely. Well, we'll keep you updated. Meteorologist Dean Davis and the Weather Pros. Thanks for watching.